Welcome everyone to March 2025 session of Spiritual Questions Answered. And today's topic is opening of chakras. All right, for those of you who don't know me, I am Ket of CordyKet, K-E-T, Ket. Okay, now some of you will have questions. If you have questions, you are free to ask them by typing in the chat, or you can speak later. All right, please allow me to present what I have to say about this topic first. I have had a lot of people ask me questions about this, so I think it's high time for me to actually do a session and answer this, so that anytime anybody asks me this question again, I will just ask them to watch this YouTube. Okay, so what do I mean by opening of chakras? Let me clarify the context that I'm talking about. Now, there are many people who go to healers or spiritual masters and spiritual gurus, and normally, they are asking for these healers or spiritual masters, gurus to do something for them, or the spiritual masters, gurus, healers, they will offer to do something, and usually you either call them opening of chakras, or there's another term. Another term is often used, right, which is activation. All right. Yeah, I think those of you, if you're present here attending this live, you would have heard of this term. All right. There are healers or spiritual masters that will offer to do it, or they can do this. Now, what does it actually mean? And let me explain a little bit more, and you all can ask me questions later. So now, in many healing modalities, even, all right, where people learn how to do healing, one of the steps that is always talked about is typically that the master trainer or the sifu or the healer, the teacher will have to activate your chakras or open up your chakras before you can actually do the healing. Okay, that is usually one of the things that they will say. Now, let me give you a basic understanding of chakras. Okay, so typically, when we talk about chakras, right, the common knowledge is this. Yeah, you will often see a diagram, something like this. I'm just doing a very simple diagram. And they will say that there are 7 major chakras, and they will draw them as spinning wheels. So you have 1 and top, here 2, 3, heart, solar plexus, sacral, and root. So these are all supposed to be circles. All right. So chakras are supposed to be chakra supposed to mean wheels. All right, it's Sanskrit for wheels. So it's circular in nature. So when people take drawings, it's normally like this. And the common knowledge is that we're supposed to have 7 major chakras. So to that, I just want to add a comment that most people have 7 major chakras, because there are actually different kinds of chakra system out there, and the most common one is the one with 7 major chakras. That's like 95% of people that you encounter, but there are actually other chakra systems out there. This is something that I discovered in the field of doing all this energy healing work. All right, so there are all these chakras. Now, the chakras are supposed to be energy centers. All right, they're supposed to be energy centers for the type of energy which we call prana. All right, the Indians call it prana, so I will call it prana. So the energy that is flowing inside, right, that makes it up, is called prana. So there are energy centers for prana, and much is said about them. All right, and of course, this type of chakras are supposed to be very important for your health, and it can give you psychic powers. All right. So these energy centers are typically linked with they're typically linked with spiritual or psychic powers or abilities, right? Either spiritual powers, spiritual abilities, psychic powers, psychic abilities. I mean, different way of saying it. So these chakras are normally linked to spiritual, psychic powers and or abilities, however way you want to say it. And a lot of people, right? They are hoping that they can get their chakras opened or activated so that they can get spiritual powers or psychic abilities, that kind of thing, right? And in healing modalities, where people learn healing, usually the teacher is trying to activate or open the chakras so that they can perform healing. Now, this is the general understanding. So I would like to share with you all what is actually going on. Now, firstly, one of the questions that people want to ask, people ask is, firstly, they ask me to open or activate their chakras. Okay, this is a quite a relatively common request. Yeah, they want me to open or activate, and some people, of course, some people who are more knowledgeable, they will use this term unblock their chakras. So for those people who know about chakras, now chakras are supposed to be energy centers where energy is supposed to flow. Okay, what is unblocking? They ask for unblocking because there are times when the chakras can be blocked. All right, can be blocked mean it will be blocked by negative energies. All right, so there'll be negative energies in the energy center, and if there are negative energies in the energy center, then what happens is that the energy centers cannot do what it's supposed to do. All right, and some people will think that this will block their spiritual powers or psychic abilities, and that is why they ask for healers or teachers, gurus, masters to open it or to activate it or to unblock it. Different, of course, there may be slight variation to their understanding of what these terms slightly mean. Okay, but typically a lot of people, they are looking for these two, right? Opening or activation. Now, first of all, uh, we need to understand what the chakras are for. Okay, what the chakras are for, and then let me share with you all. Okay, so that we can understand a little bit more about what people think of it. Now, this prana, these energy centers of prana, okay, which we call chakras, the main function of them is to these are the two main functions, okay, of the energy centers. They they are supposed to process energies, okay, because it's an energy center, so energies get processed there, and it's supposed to help us form our prana aura. All right, the aura is actually supposed to be very, very big. Okay, it's supposed to be like more like this. No space to draw it. All right, the prana aura is supposed to be very big, and yes, okay. So a lot of people ask, does it link to it? It it does give, I should use blue color. It does give psychic and spiritual abilities. Alright, so some people will be wondering, is that true? And I can confirm with you all that it is true. Okay, so process energies form the prana aura, and then it can give people these spiritual powers or psychic abilities. Now, the question that is very important that needs to be answered is it now these abilities which are governed by the chakras, all right, governed by the chakras, does it depend on another person to activate or open it from you, for you? This is the main question, because everybody is looking for spiritual masters and healers to do this. All right. Now, in general, the answer is no, you do not need a healer or a master to open or activate your chakras for you in order for you to get your so-called spiritual powers, psychic abilities, or in order for your energies, your physical body to be better, because when your chakras process energies better, you are more healthy, all right, or so that your aura is stronger. In general, no, you do not need to rely on other people. Okay, the most important person that it relies on is yourself. All right, the most important person that will determine whether your chakras are healthy or not is yourself. Can you understand that? Okay, it has nothing to do on whether it will open or it gets activated or whether it gets unblocked or not. The most important person there is yourself. Okay, now something that I need to share with everyone is our energy is a reflection of us. Our energy is a reflection of us. Okay. Our energy reflects us. Our character, our values, and so on will determine the way we live our life, will have a large impact on what our energy, which includes our chakras, will be like. Now, so the first thing I will share with everyone is, so because of this, that is why the biggest determinant on how the state of our energy and chakras will be is actually ourself. Now, the chakras are actually programmed to respond to who we are in a certain way. All right, they are programmed to respond to who we are in a certain way, and in general, all right, the way we define a person, all right, is, you know, based on our character, on the things that we do. Okay, and I will tell you all this. The most important thing, all right, is all this will be governed by our values. All right, who we are will be governed by our values. So, if I were to speak very generally, all right, the chakras become healthier and more advanced, and they level up when we are better people, when we become good people or truly good people, or when we become better people. There is a programming in the chakras, yes, yeah, that they get more level up, more advanced if we become good people, if we become better people. And that, and some people will think that, really, is that true? Now, think about this. I don't know how many of you actually know this. Now, how many of you have heard stories of spiritual masters and spiritual teachers? Because they are very spiritual, they gained spiritual powers and psychic abilities. Yeah, many people. Have you heard a story? Yeah, all right. People are raising their hands and nodding their heads. What is actually happening? Now, there are two types of these type of spiritual masters. All right, there are those who are really spiritual and they really have spiritual practices. Yeah, and maybe they even have energy practices. No, when I say spiritual practices, means they will do prayers and rituals and so on. Yeah, and then they acquire some kind of ability. And for these people, it may not seem so strange because these people are always doing some kind of some spiritual ceremony or whatever, and all these are associated with some form of spiritual energies or spiritual power. But there are also others who are more normal, all right, whereby they don't do such. Maybe some Buddhist monks, they don't do much except they live a very simple life. They do a lot of meditation, yeah. But they, in general, Buddhism does not have that much rituals in general, depending on which. There are different types of Buddhism out there, and these people, over time, as they pursue their spiritual path, they will acquire spiritual ability. Now, what is actually happening is this. When a person is truly spiritual, all right, when a person is truly spiritual, spiritual people, they have good values, all right. When the values go up, the chakras will automatically unblock, power up, open, activate you, whatever you want to say. They will power up, and then these people will eventually get all these spiritual powers or psychic abilities. This chakra system, or the prana system, or the light system, which I call it, is actually very intelligent. There is intelligent programming behind it, such that the people who get spiritual powers and psychic abilities are supposed to be those who are of good values, and essentially it means that they are really good people. There is a programming that is designed there so that the source of light, right, purposely made it so that only good people should get all these spiritual powers and psychic abilities. This is, in general, the way the system works. Now, there are 7 chakras, okay, 95% people have 7 chakras, and each of the 7 chakras, they are governed by different values. All right, they're governed by different values depending on how you live your life. All right, essentially, as long as you're a good person, different type of goodness, all right, then the chakras will activate, they will open up, and they will never unblock by itself, and you will start to have part of the thing is you will start to have all these spiritual powers and psychic abilities. But essentially, all right, for example, your prana aura will be bigger, and some people can actually sense this. So essentially, okay, what we're looking for are values. Are you a good person? And in what way should you be a good person? All right, so I will list down, okay, the 7 main values of these chakras. So we start at the top. So at the top will be the crown. So let's see whether I can here. I'm trying to. The crown, the crown is governed by something called greater harmony. Alright, the crown is governed by the values called greater harmony. And just for comparison, okay, the root chakra is governed by something called self-harmony. So these are the two different ends. Now, self-harmony is harmony with yourself. And in all ways, in yourself, you need harmony. Alright, you need to balance up your life. You need to live harmoniously with your past and so on. Alright, this is self-harmony. Now, greater harmony means harmony that is beyond self. Harmony with the world that is outside of us. Self-harmony is the harmony of the world inside us. A lot of people inside us, we are not harmonious. Alright, we've got bits and pieces of us clashing now. So that is self-harmony. Greater harmony is to harmonize with the external world, with family, with society, with Earth and its inhabitants, plants, animals, or with the universe. Some people are like, oh, greater harmony with the universe. So these are the values that will govern. Alright, these two chakras. Alright, this is not a proper class, but I'll just do a quick one. And for the third eye chakra, alright, the third eye chakra is over here. It is linked to our mind. Alright, our mind, and it is the third eye, so it has to do with perception. And the term for it is called right perception. Okay, right perception is, just to keep it simple, I'm using this term whereby you can Google it. You can Google right perception. It is covered under Buddhism. That means we need to perceive things in a right way. Alright, in a generally positive way. And we should not be biased, we should not be prejudiced, we should be open-minded and yet not be stupid, that kind of thing. Alright, that is right perception. And then we have the throat chakra. Alright, the throat chakra. For the throat chakra, the value governing it is truth. Alright, how we use our voice. Do we speak the truth? Do we live in truth? Alright, if that is the value governing the throat chakra. If we like to tell lies, if we do not live in truth, then our throat chakra will become very small or blocked. The fourth chakra is very famous. It's the heart chakra. It is governed by, everybody knows this, love. Alright, I don't need to explain more. But just to keep it simple, of course, the more unconditional our love, the higher the level of our heart chakra. Okay. And then the middle one is called the solar plexus. Alright, the solar plexus chakra. The value that is governing it is free will. Alright. Free will, freedom to decide, and is how we use our free will, how we use our freedom to decide. Do we empower people? Do we empower others? Or do we use our will to control other people's will? Right? Do you all know people who like to control others? And if you felt people controlling you and you get very stressed, alright, you will feel discomfort here in the solar plexus area. How many of you have felt that? When people really want to control you, you can some of you who are very sensitive, you can feel it. Their energy goes here because this is the center that governs free will. The way you use it, the way you use your freedom to decide. Are you deciding positively? Are you deciding to help people in a way that will empower them? Or do you help people by keeping them, everything you do for them, such that you disempower them? That will also affect your cultivation of your solar plexus, because then your free will is not empowering, it's disempowering. Okay, and the sixth chakra is the sacral chakra. The value that's governing it is creation. Alright, firstly, the sacral chakra is governing our sexual organs. So there is creation of life, that is one thing. Alright, creation of life is one thing. But it is not just creation of life, alright, that governs it is creation of creativity too, in general. Do we like create something new? Okay, it's quite interesting. Alright, and with creation, expression, new ways of expressing ourselves, in creative manner, all those are linked. And so, just to share with you, so a lot of people who are very creative, all right, a lot of people who are very creative or who are in the creative arts, they tend to have active sexual life too. Yeah, it's kind of linked. Okay, yeah, and this is something I noticed, and because the chakra is over there at the sexual organs, all right, and it's governed by creation, which is, you can create life, and also creativity. Okay, the root chakra is more at the base of our spine, and I mentioned it, the values is all deal with self-harmony. So, now, I'm sharing with you all so that you don't have to go to look for a spiritual teacher to activate or unblock or open up your chakras. How you live your life according to these values will determine whether your chakras get blocked, do they open, do they get activated or not, all have to do with this. And that is why people who are very spiritual, they will cultivate all this. All right, truly good and spiritual people, they will have all aspects of this. All, or most of it. Okay, or the most common one will be, the most common one that is linked to spirituality will be the one for crown chakra, which is greater harmony. All right, the greater harmony, crown chakra also, because it's kind of like, connecting upwards to help us connect to the rest of the universe. It requires us to have greater harmony with everything that is beyond ourselves. If we can't have harmony, if we can't accept and live in peace with things that are around us without causing destruction, without causing, all kinds of problems, then our crown chakra will not be able to open. Then you cannot have the abilities, all right? And all these, and different chakras will bring in different abilities. Of course, the third eye ability is very famous and so on. So I'm not going to go into that, but basically with each chakra, it can power a certain different type of ability, and everything is dependent on our values. This is the way it is meant to be. All right. Now, the thing is this. So the question is, so can a person, somebody else, a teacher or a healer, or a guru or master, actually do this activation or unblocking or opening of the chakras for you? The answer is yes. And does it have some effect? Yes. All right. There are effects. So you can actually get another person to open or activate or unblock it for you. Now, typically, what is going to happen is this. So depending on what is going to be done. So let me just elaborate a little bit more for you all to understand. So let's say this is your chakra. Now, most people, we do not live our life, very much in accordance with this. We are very flawed. We are humans. We make mistakes, and we have all kinds of issues in life. So our chakra can be very blocked. Okay, so what a healer or master or guru can do, the first thing is, okay, you unblock all these negative energies, remove it, all these blockages that is blocking the energy center. All right, the healer or the guru or master can do it. All right, people like me can do it. Okay, so we can unblock it for you. Now, and after unblocking, so we're going through what a teacher and guru can do for you, or healer can do. Now, sometimes if the guru is of high ability, Alright, the guru can even send prana, alright, and make your chakra grow bigger. Alright, so the chakra can grow bigger, and then the chakra will be of a higher level. Alright, when you go to a guru or healer, what's happening is, so the first stage is they will unblock, and then they will try to activate, or they will send energy, alright, and then your chakra will grow. And when your chakra grows, now the ability that comes with it will depend on the level of your chakra. So the guru is going to increase the level of your chakras. Alright, you unblock, increase the level, and the chakra grows, and then suddenly you will have some kind of spiritual ability. Or for some people, they are supposed to have this psychic ability or spiritual ability. For example, the third eye. Yeah. So for example, the third eye, some people will say, oh, I would like to see, and then they go to the master will unblock and then power, and then suddenly they can see. All right. Now, usually the person cannot see because there's a lot of blockage, and if just by unblocking, let's say the person's values, okay, if the person's values is already high level enough, okay, high level enough, but have certain blockages due to, for example, some people, let's say talk about third eye, some people are very prejudiced. Okay, some people are very prejudiced, or some people like to believe in conspiracy theories with a lot of fear and negative energies. So all these negative energies and so on will block the third eye. Okay, and then they will not be able to, the third eye will not have the power. Okay, so what the spiritual master or guru or healer can do is unblock it, all right, and then suddenly the person can see. So either unblock it or unblock and plus power up, activate the chakra, and then the person can see. Now the only thing is this, all right, what other people can do for you, okay, what others can do for you, the effect is temporary. It is temporary. And that is why many people, when they go to all these gurus or healers or whatever, they get the things unblocked and everything, and then suddenly they have some form of spiritual ability or power. And after some time, they lose it because the effects are temporary. Whereas these ones, all right, these are more permanent, or rather as is. Permanent in the sense that if your values are permanently good, then your chakras will be permanently at that. So it is as is. It reflects your true character, your true values. So if the guru unblock and power up, but your own values are not quite there, then it will go back down. So if I were to draw it graphically, so let's say this is time and this is a so-called ability, all right? So ability or power or psychic or whatever, however you want to think of it. So now initially, so this is the person's ability for a long time, okay? Or the way the cultivation of the person will determine the level of ability of the chakra. What the guru can do is give you a boost and suddenly your ability is here. All right, it goes up. But after some time, it will drop back down. Because this part here, the boost, is not your own cultivation. It is not you. It is just energy, all right? Energy manipulation whose effects are temporary by someone who has some energy or spiritual ability. Okay? So it will just go up and then come back down, and then you may lose it. But for some people, For some people, there is something else that is ongoing, that is beyond just this. All right, beyond just this. Okay, there is there is another thing that is linked to true maybe I should write this. I'll just call it true activation. So there is something for some people, okay? For some people, these psychic abilities can lie what we call dormant. Okay? For some people, they lie dormant. And this is really with respect to abilities, or this with respect to these type of abilities, yeah? And these abilities are waiting for the right circumstances for things to happen. So it is waiting for two things. Okay? It's waiting for this thing to happen, a true activation. Now, when I'm saying these type of abilities, it means there are some people with really, with a little bit more special kind of abilities, and they may start out dormant. That means there's no signs. And these people, they're actually waiting for two things. Okay, they're waiting for the chakras are waiting for the person to actually achieve this and lead to a true activation whereby it will kind of switch on and activate the true abilities. That will be a significant jump for some people. It only happens to some people. All right, and for these people, usually it is said that they are meant to have this type of abilities. Okay, they are meant to have this type of abilities, and when they are lying dormant, they are waiting. Okay, their chakras or their energy system is waiting for them to have this, and this can be actually achieved typically for a lot of people. Okay, people go through a process known as spiritual awakening. All right, Kundalini awakening, spiritual awakening. Okay, some people go through can be self or soul searching, and after doing self or soul searching, they go through a lot of self healing. They let go of a lot of their old stuff. So basically, they are actually cultivating, and suddenly they let go of a lot of things, and they start to see the world, or they change in terms of this, and then in some form of spiritual awakening, and what lies dormant suddenly gets activated. And should I use the term true activation? Let me think about it. Okay, I think true is not so good word. Um, it's more like spontaneous. This is to differentiate from the kind of thing that is happening in a gradual way. Okay, this is what a lot of people are looking for. So, um, a immediate shift. Okay, is a spontaneous one. I think spontaneous would be better. I was lost for words. So now this spontaneous activation is because something was lie dormant, okay, and in a very short period of time, people go through a spiritual awakening, okay, and they change, or some people practice some energy practices, or they go to a spiritual teacher, and then they get this done, and it becomes something that is like spontaneous. All right, it becomes something that's spontaneous, like it's a switch, like from zero to hero. Suddenly, from from nobody, and then become somebody. Okay, and this can be activated by a spiritual healer or something, which is true. Okay, this is true. Or sometimes even the divine, all right, the divine of different religions, they can do it because all this is a matter of energy, and it will seem actually very spontaneous. So it's like a switch. So now the thing is this. If I were to summarize it, there will be two paths. One will be a gradual one, which is people will slowly change over time with their cultivation of values, and then they acquire these psychic abilities. And this one is like, even you talk to spiritual people, they will tell you that maybe they've been doing their spiritual path for many years or even decades, and then all of a sudden, all right, maybe they hit they will hit a particular what you call it, critical level. They will reach a critical level, and then suddenly they will have they start to slowly, or maybe even suddenly, they will develop the abilities. So spontaneous activation is rather sudden. Okay, those of you who know our story, Cordelia went through it. Cordelia had a spontaneous activation. The activation was not done by a human or guru, or it was not her doing this. So this style of spontaneous activation, this is a little bit special. For Cordelia, it was more of a divine. It's like, for people, there are certain people, it can be said they are gifted or they're meant to do certain work, or they're fated, or it's their destiny. And then it can happen. So for Cordelia, it was spontaneous in that sense. For other people, it can be spontaneous when other people do it for them. But this is actually something, all right? So a lot of people are looking for this, and I don't recommend it because it can be dangerous. It can be dangerous. All right? Must be very careful. If you read the story of Cordelia, she thought she was going crazy, and she experienced many things. All right? It can be very destabilizing when it is spontaneous. And for some people, if like Cordelia herself, she was practically an atheist. She didn't believe in spirits and all those. And suddenly after that, this spontaneous activation happened to her over a few times. She received like Kundalini awakenings, all right, spiritual or Kundalini awakenings. A couple of times, and after that, she began to see things, feel things, hear things, invisible stuff. So it's kind of scary. Okay. And it will set off a process of healing, release of negative energy from chakras and all this. And we don't recommend it for people. Now, so I just want to share a few stories. For example, we had this. There's one client. Okay, her story is quite remarkable. So she's from Shanghai. So this client is from Shanghai. And what happened was that she joined a Kundalini awakening class, or Kundalini yoga class, or something like that. Okay, and it's probably all the rage, and people are talking about this Kundalini thing. So she went, and somehow whatever happened did cause a spontaneous activation for her. So it involves meditation. So apparently what happened to her was, it activated spontaneously, and after that she could not move. She could not move from meditation. She could not move. She could not open her eyes. She can only like mumble. Okay, she can only mumble. And the teacher could do nothing about it. The teacher who did the class, all right, and taught and managed to get this spontaneous activation happen, could do nothing about it. And from what she told me, the teacher tried and tried and tried, and maybe for 1-2 hours, and in the end, the teacher broke down, cried, and just left the place. She couldn't handle it, that she caused someone to be like that. And and this client, she had to stay in that room for half a day. I think she said like 6 hours or something like that, many hours before the effects wear off, and then she can move, and then she can go home, And so this client came to us from Shanghai. He came to Kuala Lumpur to meet us, and then we did some healing and all those things for her. Now then the next time, I went to Shanghai. And she knew I was there, and I was conducting a meditation class, all right, a workshop. So she also joined my workshop. So she happened to be one of those very energy sensitive people. Yeah, and the same thing happened, at my workshop. I ended the workshop with meditation to help people, clear, unblock their chakras and everything. And the same thing happened to her. She couldn't move. And I'm like, what? And thankfully, okay, I was able to free her in 15 minutes. All right, in 15 minutes, I was able to free her and everything, and she was all okay after that. And I was kind of embarrassed because to me, 15 minutes is a long time. I was quite apologetic. I'm sorry. It took so long, 15 minutes, to get her to be able to move. And she was like, 15 minutes. 15 minutes is a miracle to her. Because when it happens to her, it's like half a day she cannot move. So it's like okay. And this is just one story, and there are other stories similar. Okay, other stories where I have other clients whereby they go and have something done, and instead of positive effects, they had some negative effects, and it's not so good. One of the worst one was there was a client. She went to someone, and now this client was not very stable. Okay, this client he came to us, and she have depression. She have depression, and she was taking some medication, and some, I can't remember what are the conditions. This thing happened more than 10 years ago. All right, and she came to us and she wanted to learn meditation, and she actually wanted to kind of get herself activated, but we told her no. All right, especially for someone who's not stable mentally. But she went to another teacher. She couldn't get it from us. She went to another teacher, and the other teacher was like, okay, let me activate and open up your third eye. And things went very bad after that. And eventually, this person, she got her third eye opened by another teacher, but she attended our retreat. And during our retreat, because the third eye was open, she caused a lot of, she was being disturbed by evil spirits, and she started to see things and hallucinate, and caused a lot of problem. All right, and eventually, because of this opening, she, she had a manic episode, and then she attacked her family. She was possessed, attacked her family, and she went kind of like cuckoo, and she had to be admitted to psychiatric ward, and it took her a long time. All right, a long time to stabilize herself and get back to society. All right, so this is another warning, okay, that we tell people. So if you are not stable mentally, you should not go for this, because when this thing happens, it is highly destabilizing. Okay, so that is in general what I want to share with you all. Okay, so now when people come to us, normally we recommend to go through the standard way. All right, the standard way, which is, please work on yourself. And if they want certain practices which can kind of help them unblock their chakras and everything, we tell them, okay, you can attend our online class, you can learn Unity Qigong, okay, you can learn light meditation, will help unblock and all this. Okay, but if you want to have this type of abilities, your values must level up. You must become a good person. Then when you are deserving, as it should be, you will get abilities according to who you are when you are a good person. This is normally what we tell people. Okay, when people are looking for this kind of spontaneous activation, okay, spontaneous activation, and they want power, normally they are doing it for the wrong reasons. Do you not agree? They are looking for power. They are fascinated by all this spiritual and psychic stuff, and they are looking for, an experience. So most people who ask for this type of spontaneous activation, it is their intent is not pure. And in general, I would say this: if a guru or healer, all right, agrees to the request, I think the guru or healer also have to look at his or her intentions. All right. For Cordelia and I, it's very clear. Okay, if we assess the situation, and if your intentions are not clear, and if you're not meant to have such things, or if the timing is not right, we will never do it. It's not about the money. All right, our intention is never about the money. For some, maybe it is about the money, so they will do it because of the money. For us, no. Typically, if you come to me, I will tell you a long story, and next time I will ask them to watch this YouTube video. All right, there'll be a recording. Please watch this YouTube video, and then it'll save me all the time to explain again. So the person who asks for it and the person who can facilitate or do this must look at their own intentions. Why are they doing this? Are their intentions pure? Because if your intentions are not pure, all right, the results can be bad. It's just like the case I was telling you about someone who had depression, but actually the other teacher know about this person having depression and it's not mentally stable, yet went ahead and do it. So actually, it's very bad. Okay, so I've been talking quite a fair bit. So essentially, this is my main message. If you want, just be a good person, and trust me, you will get it, and you can practice our energy practices to unblock. Now, if you unblock, if you are meant to have it or you already have it, it can suddenly reveal to you. It won't be this spontaneous thing. This spontaneous thing can be really quite a roller coaster ride, okay? It's not for everybody. So let me take a look at some of your questions. Any side effect once chakras are open can close back later. Okay, so any side effects, now we don't consider all these like side effects because they are the way they are. They are meant to be that way. All right, it's supposed to be a programming, but for some people, it's like, some people want to see, yet when they see ghosts, they're like, oh, I don't want to see ghosts. Okay, but there are some people who want to see ghosts. But if you're asking for your third eye to be opened and after that you start seeing things, what do you expect? Can you call it a side effect? I don't call it a side effect. Okay, the thing is, we must understand these chakras will process energies and they form the prana aura. And when your chakras, they level up, you will feel a lot more energies. All right, and the experience, those of you who have Cordelia's book, all right, Cordelia's book, all right, is Possessed from Darkness to Light. You can get it on Amazon by Cordelia Lee, Possessed from Darkness to Light. You can get it from Amazon. Now, it tells the story, all right? It tells the story. And you kind of know what to expect. So be very careful with that. I don't consider them side effects. They are the effects as they're meant to be. How to know chakras are blocked? Okay, Edwin is asking how to know chakras are blocked. Now, there are people who can do simple dowsing at the chakras, or some people can sense it, can feel it. Now, you can feel a lot of pain, a lot of heaviness, all right, in the chest area. It may be due to chakras, okay, but of course, it may be due to physical condition or other kind of stuff. But if you come to an energy healer, okay, it can be checked, and I can do some people who do some dowsing. It can be accurate if they know how to do the dowsing, pendulum dowsing there. Okay, and energies do not move. Okay, the chakras energy, when people check the chakras and the energy does not move, okay, it either means that the chakra is blocked or the chakra is very weak. All right, that means the chakra from very big become very small. Edwin again, is it the greater chakra, the last chakra, a deceased person exit from the world regardless of a good or bad person? Now, no, so actually, I did share about the process of dying, okay, the process of dying, and what happens to the soul and the spirit, okay. You can watch the video for greater detail. Basically, all right, the soul or the light of a person will exit, all right, will exit from the crown chakra. It will exit upwards, okay, that is the exit. Again, some went to Guru Sifu to open which chakra to see spirits. The third eye, okay, I thought that's self-explanatory. A lot of people go for that. Will there be a case where a person only has 6 chakras due to defective bond? No. There's no such thing, all right? Unless the person happen to, there won't be a defective energy system, so to speak. Okay, the energy system is like, uh, it's not like, we can be born with defective limbs and all that. Energy system doesn't follow that. All right, energy system will be as is, and it's either that system or a different system. So most people have the 7 major chakra system. Coral imagine that is said, I imagine that is only temporary. I'm not sure which one you're referring to. And then Coral is asking, so even if a guru unblocks, the person will still have issues that will block the chakra again because their foundational values are not supporting the ability of the chakra. Also, I'm imagining that the imprints are still strong because the person's cultivation are not strong, so it will block again. Yes. All right. Now, so like I was saying, you can get a guru to do all that for you, but after some time, okay, it will drop back to who you are based on your cultivation, based on your personality, your character, and your cultivation of values. So you can do all this. Now, the difference with all this spontaneous activation is some switch is actually switched on. All right. If there's a spontaneous activation, it's like some abilities are switched on, and once it's open, okay, then some abilities will come and manifest themselves. And even though if the energy drops back, all right, unless it drops very, very bad, these people normally they still have the abilities. Okay, they normally still have the abilities, and unless it drops very bad, and actually, based on my experience, a lot of people, even if they go through this spontaneous activation, it more or less follows this. Okay, so the spontaneous activation can do this. It can bring them up. Okay, and then after a while they close. Okay, the abilities go away. So they may have attended whether it's a guru or Kundalini, Kundalini yoga, Kundalini meditation, and then this thing happened, and then it will still go back more or less the same. The main thing is, does it go, okay? Does it go like gradually? We recommend this type of gradual, okay? As you cultivate your values, it goes gradually, or okay, you go through something which is kind of like spontaneous. Okay, we recommend this. Coral, again, are there different side effects for each chakra opening naturally? Now, for people whereby it opens naturally, the process is gradual. All right, the process is rather gradual, and it's not so acute. It's not so acute, and it's not so shocking. Okay, again, you're saying side effects. For example, weeks, months ago, I felt heart chakra gradually opening, blooming sensation. All right, good for you. So, is that do you have some side effects? Now, for example, for people whose heart chakra bloom and open, it gives the ability for people. It gives the ability for people to feel other people's hearts, other people's emotions. Okay, it's supposed to be a positive ability, because once your heart chakra opens and you gain this ability, you can actually tell the true intention of the person, whether the person in front of you or not in front of you, even through text messages. It is a very powerful, very useful ability. Okay, but for some people, they don't like it. They consider it a bad ability because they can feel all the bad things from people. All right, they can feel all the heart pain, the heart aches, and they can feel all the anger and all this. So it's not a pleasant thing. It's just that they don't know how to deal with it. And for those people, I'll just just a quick one for all these people facing all these problems. That's why you need to learn to manage your energies. You need to make sure your energies are unblocked, are cleansed. And a very important one will be non-attachment. You need to learn not to be so attached, so that whatever your energy feels, all right, you do not stay attached to whatever you sense or feel. Then the so-called side effects won't last as long. Okay. Cora is asking, is it the same sensation for each chakra? More or less. So each chakra they will go through, it will try when it's activated, or it can grow and it can open, it can kind of like blossom, all right, it can open. All right, for some people they will be able to feel it, and they may be whereby the growth is very sudden, like a growth spurt. Okay, it may be uncomfortable, and it's kind of like, they call a growing pains. There's a term, growing pains. It's kind of growth spurt, and the chakra suddenly expand. Okay, maybe a little bit like spontaneously. For some people, it's very unpleasant and can be, uncomfortable, or some people will complain that it's painful. Cora is saying, yes, I can usually tell when people are BSing me, bullshitting me, or generally not being sincere, which is a lot. For heart chakra, I mean, I'm still learning to trust the intuition though. Okay. And Cora was, Xiaofang was saying, yes, I was there in the workshop in Shanghai. So yeah, so Xiaofang witnessed that. Yeah, so I'm not telling a fake story. Yeah, we have someone here who was at the workshop in Shanghai and witnessed that lady. Okay, after he did the meditation and something happened to her and she couldn't move. All right, similar to what she experienced before. I think it happened to her a few times. Yeah. Moni is saying, I've heard of people who develop abilities after channeling for a long period of time. What is happening in these cases? All right. Now, in general, people are not, normally the chakras get activated, then only people channel. Normally. Okay, they gain the ability to channel, because in order to channel, certain chakras must activate, all right, and beyond the chakras that we talk about here, all right, must be activated or opened, okay, before people can channel. Then they start to get abilities. The only thing is this: when all these chakras activate, it may be at a low level, okay, or it may be growing at this, at this manageable pace. It does not happen like a spontaneous one. Now, and so the person may be going through this and may reach a critical level. Okay, so the person is, the chakras are going up and maybe reach a critical level whereby the person can start to channel, or then after a while, then the abilities start to manifest more clearly. But the ability actually, each step of the way is kind of manifesting, but okay, channeling, the ability to channel is kind of like a 1-0 thing. It's like suddenly you can do it. Actually, it's not really suddenly you can do it. Okay, I've been with people who go through this process. It's like, they're actually doing it like baby steps. It's actually going through. But when you get it, okay, it's like suddenly you get it. It's kind of like riding a bicycle. All right. Can you imagine trying to ride a bicycle? You had to try many times. But the moment you get it, do you get what I mean? It seems spontaneous, right? But the effort that is needed to get there, you need to keep trying. And all those tries will build up and suddenly, bam, you can ride the bicycle. It's kind of like that. All right, it's kind of like that. Okay, now then after they get a channeling ability, then it goes up. And for example, certain abilities whereby, initially they, let's say third eye abilities, some people start to see shadows or flickering lights or lights that zip here and there. And, initially they think, what's happening to me? Am I going crazy or something? Now, and as it develops, suddenly it may reach a critical mass, and suddenly instead of just shadows, you see apparitions, or you start to see form in the shadow. You start to see, you get what I mean? Shape, eyes, nose, fangs, whatever, So, but it's a gradual process, but it may reach a critical point whereby suddenly the details come in. It's just like the bicycle example that I was telling you all about. Okay, Evan said, thanks, Kat. Valerie said, a friend of mine had a similar experience when his energy was activated during a Kundalini class. It was years ago and he still suffers the consequences. What are the ways to fix it? All right, now, one of the problems with all this spontaneous activation, okay, is that the energies are not properly harmonized. So like with the lady in Shanghai, so maybe it's her or her system, and when there's something overload or what is happening is the energy in her body was too much and it was overloading her system. All right, something happened and then it overloaded her system, or she, it could be something to do with her, okay, but whereas it was overloading her system and there was so much energy flowing that she cannot move and cannot open her eyes. She's not the first one I've encountered. I've been teaching meditation and since I don't know, since 2010. I've been doing all this work since 2010. Yeah, I've been to many classes, and the thing is, I don't know why, or maybe it's destiny or heaven. They deem it appropriate that since I'm capable or we are capable, Cordelia and I, all right, they will send the toughest cases, all the people who are very sensitive, and we get all these weird experiences. I used to, I have an uncle who teach meditation, and his meditation classes are bigger than mine because he joined meditation. He's in a big spiritual organization, so it's not just him. He teaches in a big spiritual organization, and every class that he teaches will have, it can be 50, 100, 200 people. All right. Whereas, I don't have that kind of, we don't have that kind of reach, but we have a lot more of different type of cases whereby we see and handle all these type of things. Yeah. And a very common one is some people, when they do meditation and there's too much energy during meditation. Now, any one of you who attend our meditation, I will always say we always end the meditation by harmonizing the energies. Yeah, those of you who attend our meditation, we always end by harmonizing the energies. Okay, this is a very, very important step that maybe others don't really know, but we always do it because of this type of cases whereby they can be something like that and then they cannot move. A very common one is they cannot open the eyes. They like raise hands. I cannot open my eyes. Why? Because there's too much energy. It's like their head will be bursting with energies. I can imagine like the energy is pressing the eyelids down. They want to open the eyes. They're like, I can't open my eyes. I don't know why I can't open my eyes. And they cannot talk about it. I don't know why I can't. Or they can't move. It's pretty much standard. And one of the things that we help them do is we harmonize their energies for them. Okay, we rectify whatever is overloaded and whatever. And some people, they will need some healing, or it could be they have a lot of energies, but their system is still blocked. All right, still blocked. So because the energy is not flowing, so maybe certain parts cannot move. They can be all these type of things. So for people like this, all right, they will need to go to a proper healer who knows how to rectify it again for them. Stephanie is asking, is it right to say kids' chakra size are much smaller since they are still developing? Yes, normally their chakra size are smaller, but you'll be surprised. Some people have very big energies. I don't know, my son Patrick, his energy is really very big. And those who are energy sensitive, we've got clients and students, our disciples, and they're all energy sensitive. They will always say this: when Patrick steps into the house, the atmosphere changes because he brings his energy with him. It's kind of also same. People also say that about me and Cordelia. When we enter a place, we bring our energy, and then the energy shifts because of our energy is big. It can change, like a whole place energy. There's like, oh, something happened. And they look and oh, hey, you have arrived. I've got all kinds of stories. I've got clients who tell me, oh, before I arrive, they know I'm coming. They know I'm coming because they can feel the energy and something will happen to them. I've got clients say, every time, I'm coming, I'm approaching, she will have to go to toilet. It's like my energy is there, it's coming ahead and cleanse. And she says she need to go to toilet to do something. All kinds of stories like that. Yeah, Valerie asking, a lot of people have strong spiritual powers, but how are they far from being good? But they are far from being good. How is this possible? Now, okay, so what is possible is, you see, the thing is this: all these energies, okay, all these things is done by the energy prana. All right, there's an energy governing it, and this energy is supposed to be programmed according to values. There are some spiritual masters, some spiritual healers, they understand this, okay? And now you all know. So what they do is they steal prana, they take prana from people. I have quite a number of clients who tell me about this, how they experience spiritual gurus or healers who take energy from them. In Cordelia's book, she also ran into such people, all right, and got her into trouble. There are people who understand this type of energies, and instead of cultivating, so in our path of unity, or the way we teach, we cultivate all this, and then you will get a lot of prana. It's like you learn to do it, and then you become a fountain of flowing prana, of flowing light. You become brighter and brighter, okay, based on who you are. It's like society, you know. In society, the good guys work and earn their money. Yes? And then you have the bad guys who go and steal, rob, cheat, hack, and get other people's money. They take the short way. They don't want to do themselves. They want to take other people. And with the same money, they can do the same thing. So with a prana, there are actually something like that. Okay, there are some people who have learned methods whereby they can steal people's prana. And I've seen it, okay? I've seen it. There are famous gurus who do it. Or sometimes maybe they don't know that they're doing it, but some know they're doing it. And I've heard all kinds of stories, feedback from my clients. Okay, I've seen it with my own eyes. This is what is happening. So they're actually not good people, and they take prana, and then after they take prana, they can do this for other people. Okay, because they have the prana already. So yes, energy vampires. Cora's asking, Cora said, yeah, man, you and Cordy are so strong. Yeah, so Cora is one of our EMT students. She's, quite energy sensitive. Stephanie is asking, what about minor chakras? What are their functions? Okay, that is going all way beyond already, okay? So there are all those minor chakras and everything, but today this topic is meant to talk about all this activation of chakras. And let me take a look at some more questions. So someone's asking, are there risks associated with having chakras opened by someone else? Okay, all these are self-explanatory, right? There are risks. Pros and cons having the chakras opened up by someone else instead of opening them on their own. Okay, I think this is what my talk has been trying to address. In general, I think it's better to do it on your own, yeah? So there are many schools that say they teach chakra healing. Should one be very careful before choosing a school, or is opening of chakras and chakra healing relatively safe? Now, it's like we are not the only ones who teach all this, okay? And in general, it's relatively safe. But like I said, the effects is temporary, okay? The effects are temporary, and only the ones that are permanent will be when the person cultivates it. So are there commonly accepted beliefs within the chakra user community that you find to be not true or not good? So there are some people who keep on perpetuating the fact that, of course, some gurus would like to perpetuate the fact that you can't do it without me. You need me to activate for you, okay? So that is bullshit, okay? And the main thing is this. I think a lot of people don't realize this. Okay, I hope by sharing with you all this, that people need to become very good. And that is why spiritual people, because they become very good people, eventually they will have spiritual powers and abilities. So, should one wait until adulthood to open the chakras, or can children have their chakras opened? Now, children usually have chakras that are open, because children are quite pure, so they never block their chakras. And if you hear a lot of the stories, right, a lot of children, they see things, feel things, hear things, and the adults don't believe in them. And then because they are in a purer state, their chakras are not blocked. Okay, most of the time, all these blockages are acquired or something that we do to ourselves as we age. As we age, as we grow, you know, as we become more negative and less optimistic, more pessimistic with life, so on. Okay, so it's not okay for people with mental disabilities. Someone are asking, yeah. So heart issues, yeah, also, yeah, you know, if you have heart issues and you have all this spontaneous activation, you might have a heart attack. So certain times of planetary alignments, moon cycle season, it's not good to do it? Yeah, of course, you know, this is very highly destabilizing, and if you do it during time of celestial alignment or all this stuff, it can be add on, okay, and then it's really tough. So is there a right way or wrong way? I wouldn't say right or wrong, okay, it depends on what you want. And there will obviously there'll be people who are looking for this spontaneous thing, but I'm just warning you all. And I'm letting you all know there is a gentler process, the process is meant to be, all right, which is based on your cultivation of values. Okay, with regards to questions about chakra healing, receiving chakra healing, are there some people better off not receiving this type of healing? So now, if it's chakra healing in general, actually it should be good for people, all right? So as long as the person does not expand the chakra or activate or, you know, grow it, okay? Healing is in general, okay? In general is to unblock it and to heal it, okay? Heal it is to repair it, okay? Bring it back to, you know, or optimize it back to 100%. That is fine, okay? But to activate it in the sense whereby the chakra actually grows, okay, or whereby the spontaneous activation and ability suddenly come into play, that is a little bit more, you know, carries its risk. So asking, you know, could you get hurt, okay, if you do all this chakra healing, you know, if you do it wrong? Yeah, definitely, okay. I always tell my students, my disciples, those who learn from me, that you have to be careful with all these, yeah, with all these energies things. If people don't know what they're doing, they can cause harm. Okay, and there's many these type of stories. It's not just for energy healing in all kinds of field, where, you know, all kind of healing fields, and even, you know, in all kinds of industry, you cannot there is always safety that we need to take note of. Right, you go and see a doctor, right, and surgery, of course, it carries high risk, right? Even a simple procedure can have its own risk. Okay, you can have any field. Carpentry, I mean, you're building items, but you can hurt yourself, right, if you don't know how to use the tools properly, for example. So is the quality of a chakra directly related to capacity? If someone has a lot of chakra, should they also have a lot of good quality chakra? Or is it possible for someone to have very pure chakra energy but not a lot? All right, good. So quantity and quality. So quantity and quality are in general linked. Okay, if you cultivate them properly. Okay, but that is the normal order of things. Now there are people whereby, so in normal order of things, if you cultivate properly, your quality and quantity goes up, okay, as it should. Now there are people whereby what happens is they have the quality, but the quantity is taken away because maybe some spiritual masters or some entities take away their prana. Then the quantity drops, but the quality can still be there because they are still good people. So the quality of their prana is there. Do you get what I mean? Of their chakras are there. Okay. Another private. Okay. Chorus asking, maybe off topic, but feel free to ignore. Is there a way to stop energy vampires from stealing energy from us once we realize they are doing that? Once we realize what they are doing? Yeah, of course. Now, the main thing is this, you cannot stop that unless your energy is bigger than that, right? So the most basic thing is, actually, you got to learn to master your energy, and you make your energy big, and you learn how to protect yourself. Okay, you learn how to protect yourself. So the advanced methods, of course, we teach in Infinity. But if you attend our meditation sessions, we always end the meditation sessions by doing a protection invocation. So we teach the protection invocation during our meditation sessions. Someone is asking privately, how do I know if I need to recharge my chakras? Okay, now your chakras and prana, okay, will affect, the greatest effect in terms of health is our mental and emotional health. All right, I did share with in most of my classes that we have different types of energies. Qi is for physical health. Qi and life force is for physical health, but prana is more for mental and emotional health. So when you notice that mentally and emotionally you tend to be more negative, that is a sign that your prana or your chakras are not in good order. So prana and chakras are interlinked. All right, the energy is the prana. The centers, energy centers, are called chakra. Okay. So that was the last question I have on my long list, all this with including quite a number of private messages. So I hope I managed to answer everyone. We really overshot. It's kind of almost 1.5 hours. This topic is very popular. Thank you for having me. And if you feel that this has been of help to you, please do consider making a donation to support our online events. Now, if you can't, then it's also okay. All right, you can't afford it, it's also okay. It's free. And I hope to see you all again. Okay? Have a good day, good night, and goodbye.